Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I'm joined with Dennis for the first time in, I think, 1 year and 7 months. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So I thought we'd start off with a bit of an open question since it's been a while since we talked. How do you feel about the state of the game now, the journey so far, and moving forward?
I feel really good about it. I think that the game is in a pretty good state. Our community is very happy. We are our audience is growing every month. Summer is always going to be a little slower because people have lives and do other stuff. But in general, it's growing. And I saw our most recent community transmission went over really well. And it seems like we're trending. It's the perfect time to join.
Yeah, definitely. And something you've mentioned in the community transmission and also in the EA Play stream, you call it PvE, the new ways to play. Could you elaborate what exactly new ways to play? A lot of people are saying, is it arcade? Is it more arcade? Or what do you mean with new ways to play?
So I think for since we announced that we're going into the Clone Wars and everything for last EA Play, we've focused quite deeply on like your large scale Battlefront fantasies, but seen through the lens of PvP, and that's been going really well, and it's easily our most popular mode is Supremacy, but something that keeps coming up is going back to Battlefront 1 really is the hashtag solo players matter and all of that stuff, and I think we're excited to show you guys what's coming next. It's not going to be another PvP mode. It's going to be something more tailored to that other part of our audience and those players who might want more of a PvE thing. So we're not sort of want to see it through the lens of something that's in the game right now, but we would like the community to have an open mind as we sort of move forward and say this is the future thing that we're excited about, if that makes sense. I know it's still kind of vague. You have to be patient with us until we get everything aligned, and then we'll come back to you. We've said August is the next check-in point, so we have to look forward to that.
Yeah, sounds good. Some more specific question. In the community transmission, you confirmed that Felucia will be on Capital Supremacy. Do you think there will be any plans to have maybe Heroes versus Villains or any other mode on Felucia?
Right now, we're designing and playtesting it for Capital Supremacy primarily, and we're really excited about building a new planet and a new multiplayer level with that game mode in mind, rather than what we've done so far in many of the planets, that we've gone back to a level that we already finished and sort of taken a second stab at it and made adjustments where needed, and so we're excited to see what we can do with that, in particular to cater to like large vehicle warfare on Felucia. So we're excited to see what comes out of that. That said, as we get locked in and see like this is really working, then of course we would like to see what other modes we can throw in there. Heroes vs Villains is obviously a fan favorite, and so we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you. It's one question one of my followers had was, how long did a droideka take from start to finish to make, roughly?
So if you go back, I know I retweeted that old tweet from when we did a dev takeover on the official DICE account, where we said like we're doing some prototyping during one of our Spark weeks about what turned out to be dual wielding ARC troopers and then transformable robots or something that I called it. So that's where we started investigating like the tech behind how you could possibly do something like this, how to make it work with our sort of character states and our animation systems and all that sort of pretty deep technical stuff that's hard to explain. So that's technically when we started on it. Now then there's a lot of stuff around. We need to figure out what the droidekas is supposed to do. So there's a lot of just like whiteboard designing and brainstorming around what we wanted to do. So we technically started back when I tweeted that, and now it's completed. But we shouldn't take that as I don't know off the top of my head like how many weeks did it take for us to make audio for it, how many times it like, because it's always that thing where you cannot add sounds to a character until it's actually playing in a way where this will be close to the final implementation of the gameplay, because otherwise you'll end up having to redo the audio many times as the design is changing for it. So it's usually like a waterfall of crafts that needs to sort of have a say and implement things before it's done. So the droideka in particular took a little longer, just because we didn't know how the heck we were going to do it.
Yeah, understandable. So another question from one of my followers: what is / was or has been the most fun to work with in the game?
So I'm a Clone Wars fan. I grew up with that, so for me it's been a lot of fun staying in this era. I know the people are asking for other eras, are cursing me for being such a huge fan of Anakin and Obi-Wan and the rest. And so for me it's been a lot of fun working on this. But like in specific parts of the game, I got started in the gaming industry as a level designer, and so I always come back and enjoy when we start kicking off new levels. And I also have I also did a lot of work on designing and building game modes, looking back at even Battlefront 1, the Walker Assault and Heroes vs. Villains and all those Hero Hunt. Yes, the Elliot game. All of those were sort of coming from my brain, and where I built them in engine. So I enjoyed that part a lot. I like it specifically because it impacts so much about all the other stuff that needs to be in the game. Like if this is the rule set from which we want to play, then what should the characters do, and what should the vehicles do, and what should all of that do. So that's probably my favorite that I have. I am biased towards those parts, but it's a good thing then that I have really strong designers like Guillaume and CJ who are really passionate about troopers and heroes, and so they can sort of complement my own personal sort of bias towards maps and modes and that stuff.
So will there be any, I mean, personally I will never get enough of Clone Wars content, but there's still a part now that's asking, will we get some non-Clone Wars content, whether that's original or sequel trilogy?
So we took a slight break and added the Princess Leia appearance to the game. Obviously that's not going to satisfy everyone, but like I said, we're going to be back in August and outline the plans we have for the rest of the year, and you're going to have to stay tuned until we get there, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
That said, we still have more Clone Wars content on the way. Droideka is coming, TX-130 tank is coming, and of course Felucia. And I'm pretty excited to continue fighting here. I think Clone Wars is just such a wonderful place for Battlefront to be. It features the large-scale battles, some of the largest battles we see in Star Wars. So I think it's exciting to continue being here.
Yeah, I fully agree. Private matches or ways, because that's one thing that I miss from the first game, being able to just, okay, I'm gonna have my own game, invite some people. And I know it's been slight mentions of it since the launch, but are there any plans to add that or satisfy that need?
We were totally hearing that desire, and I would like to be able to support like our pockets of smaller communities like your own within the larger community, so that if you have a specific group that you want to keep playing with and decide whether you want to invite strangers or not to that game. I think that is important to a game, to make sure that we support the community as much as possible. I'm not able to like commit to any hard plans right now, but I still want to acknowledge that I want to add that. I want to see that being added to the game. It was in Battlefront 1. We added it shortly after launch there. Obviously, every journey for every live game is different, and we've had to shift our priorities a little bit. And once we have news to share and hard plans, then of course we're going to tell you about it.
All right. That's all the questions I had. So I don't know. Do you have any message to the community you want to give?
Well, I can say thank you very much for playing, and thank you for providing feedback and for just being a wonderful community to serve, because that's how we view it. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you very much, and may the force be with you.
Thank you for watching.